Let's be honest. Most men spend years chasing signals, trying to decode what she's thinking, and yet the truth is hiding in plain sight. There's a difference between a woman who likes you and a woman who is truly, deeply in love with you. And this is not something she will broadcast to the world. It's subtle, it's quiet, and most men miss it completely because they're too busy looking for words instead of actions. When a woman is in love, it changes everything. Her energy shifts, her attention becomes intentional. You see, attraction is temporary. Lust fades, infatuation is a spark, but love leaves traces that are impossible to ignore if you know where to look. And here's the first truth: she invests her time where her heart is. Notice that, when she makes herself available, not because it's convenient, but because she genuinely wants to be there, that's her love speaking. A text, a call, a message that isn't forced but flows effortlessly. It's not a game, it's her presence. Presence is the ultimate currency of love. And then there's vulnerability. Women don't give this lightly. If she allows you to see the cracks, the fears, the insecurities she hides even from her closest friends, she is telling you more than words ever could. This is the kind of trust that only comes when a woman feels safe, cherished, and understood. If she shares her world, not just the polished version, but the real one, the one with messy thoughts, raw emotions, and unguarded moments, you are holding a treasure most men don't even recognize. Most men mistake casual conversation for connection, but love leaves a footprint deeper than that. Notice how she anticipates your needs, even the ones you haven't said out loud. It's not manipulation, it's empathy amplified by affection. She listens, really listens, and she remembers that small detail you mentioned months ago that mattered to you. She didn't forget. She acts on it quietly. That is love speaking in a language most men never learn to hear. And there's something else. Her excitement when she's with you is unspoken, almost magnetic. She doesn't just like being around you. She feels alive when you're near. Her body language, her laughter, the way she tilts her head when listening, it's all subtle, but it's undeniable. It's a biological truth. Her mind is mirroring yours because she feels a bond that's more than chemistry. It's emotional resonance. Here's the part most men get wrong. She doesn't need to declare it every hour or post it for the world to see. In fact, if she's in love, she's more consistent in quiet ways than in grand gestures. It's the small things, the repeated patterns, the unwavering signals that reveal the truth. And understanding this, it's like having a map to a treasure most men never find. So start paying attention. Watch her patterns, her choices, and her energy. Words are cheap, actions are priceless. And if you learn to recognize these subtle truths, you'll start to see love in ways that most men never do. Let's cut through the noise. Most men are blind to this, but here's a fact. When a woman is truly in love, her priorities shift in ways you'll notice if you're paying attention. She doesn't just fit you in between her life, she adjusts the rhythm of her world to include you, not because you asked, not because she feels obligated, but because you have become a part of her emotional ecosystem. It's subtle, yet profoundly revealing. Have you noticed how she remembers the smallest details about you? Not just the big things, your birthday, your favorite meal, but the tiny, almost trivial mentions, how you like your coffee, that song you hummed absent-mindedly, the joke that made you smile months ago. Most men dismiss this as politeness or courtesy, but here's the truth. She stores these pieces of you in a mental scrapbook, and she revisits it when you aren't looking. This is a woman's way of saying, you matter, you are seen, you are remembered. Few men ever realize the gravity of this. And here's something most men completely misread: her patience with you. It's not about tolerance, it's about genuine emotional investment. When she gives you time, even when you're difficult, even when you're distracted or frustrated, that's love. Not a fleeting attraction, not a casual crush, but deep-rooted care that doesn't crumble when challenges arise. This patience is a signal most men overlook because they expect instant gratification. But love isn't instant. It's persistent. It shows up again and again. Then there's her protection, not just physical, but emotional. She will shield you, not from danger alone, but from doubt, shame, and insecurity. She subtly guards your heart while giving hers, creating a space where you feel safe, where mistakes don't define you, where you can be your unpolished self. This is not a random act. It is deliberate, and if you notice it, you understand she's not just infatuated, she's committed at a level that transcends words. Now, here's a truth many men don't grasp. She celebrates your victories as if they were her own, not with performative cheerleading, not with empty platitudes, but with genuine joy that lights up her face and her energy. She invests in your growth because your happiness is intertwined with hers. It's not control, it's alignment. She wants your life to be better because she is in it. That is a marker of love that few men can truly appreciate. And finally, observe how she reacts in moments of silence. Not every interaction needs conversation. When she sits with you in quiet and it feels natural, when she leans in without needing words to fill the space, that's her heart showing you trust and contentment. Most men chase constant affirmation and miss the beauty of her presence. True love doesn't always speak, it resonates. If you can begin to see these layers, you'll start distinguishing fleeting interest from unwavering devotion. You'll recognize her energy, her focus, her patience, and her quiet investment as signals louder than anything she could say aloud. And once you see this clearly, your perspective on love, relationships, and connection will never be the same. A woman's love isn't loud at first. It whispers. It reveals itself in ways that are almost invisible unless you understand what to look for. And one of the most powerful signs she's truly in love is how she begins to emotionally align with your path. She doesn't try to change who you are. She seeks to understand where you're going. You'll notice this when she starts asking deeper questions, not just how your day was, but what drives you, what scares you, what makes you feel alive. She wants to know the man beneath the surface, not the mask you show to the world. That curiosity is not casual. It is emotional investment. Pay close attention to how she reacts to your struggles. When a woman is only interested, she may offer sympathy. But when she's in love, she offers belief. She looks at you with a quiet strength that says, "I know you can get through this." She doesn't solve the problem for you or try to control the process. She simply positions herself as your emotional anchor. That kind of support doesn't come from desire, it comes from devotion. She doesn't want to be your world, she wants to stand beside you as you build it. There's another subtle truth. When a woman loves you, she starts planning around you without labeling it as planning. She includes you in her vision, in her future scenarios, even in her fears. It could be something as small as saying, "If we ever visit there," or "One day we should." These aren't empty words. They are her subconscious mapping you into her long-term emotional structure. Most men hear those statements and dismiss them as casual talk, but if you listen closely, that's her way of inviting you into her life beyond the present moment. Now here's something deep. She mirrors your emotional state without even realizing it. If you're stressed, her tone softens. If you're excited, she matches your energy. This is not manipulation, it's emotional synchronization. The female brain is wired for connection, and when it senses safety and attachment, it naturally moves into resonance. You'll notice how she adjusts herself emotionally, not to please you, but to stay connected with you. That's powerful, that's rare. But here comes the test most men fail to recognize. When she is truly in love, her love remains steady, even when you're imperfect. She doesn't withdraw affection because you stumbled. She doesn't turn cold because you're having a rough day. Instead, she remains present with a quiet, consistent warmth. Not because she's ignoring your flaws, but because she sees the man capable of overcoming them. Her love is not conditional, it's supportive. Finally, observe how she protects your dignity in public. A woman deeply in love will never expose your weakness to others. She will stand with you even in disagreement, and only in private will she help you refine what needs to change. That respect is sacred. You can't demand it. You earn it through authenticity and mutual trust. Understand this. When you start to notice these quiet truths, you'll stop chasing validation and start recognizing real love when it stands before you. And that's when you begin to lead with strength, rooted not in ego, but in emotional intelligence. Love without sacrifice is just convenience. A woman who's truly in love will show a form of quiet sacrifice, not dramatic, not loud, not something she uses against you, but subtle shifts she makes because in her heart she has chosen you, and she doesn't expect applause. She does it because loving you feels like a natural extension of who she is becoming. Watch carefully and you'll see it clear as daylight. One of the most revealing changes is how she begins to prioritize your emotional state alongside her own. This is not self-abandonment, it's emotional partnership. If she senses you're stressed, she doesn't add pressure, she offers calm. If she sees you withdrawing, instead of demanding attention, she provides space with trust. This is not weakness, it's deep emotional intelligence powered by love. She's not trying to fix you, she's learning to flow with you. There will be moments when she steps back from something she wants, maybe temporarily, so you can pursue something that matters deeply to you, not because she's surrendering, but because she believes in your potential. She understands that sometimes love means holding the rope while you climb. Most men overlook this because they mistake it as indifference, but it's not. Often it's her way of silently saying, "I'm with you. I see where you're going. Take the lead, I'll match your pace." Here's something profound. She starts protecting your name in conversations you will never hear. That means when others criticize or doubt you, she doesn't allow disrespect or gossip. She defends you, not blindly, but with conviction. She adds context when others misunderstand you. She shows loyalty without making it obvious. And the most powerful sign, you'll never hear it directly from her. Someone else might eventually tell you how she spoke of you, but she will not. Because her loyalty isn't for show, it's protective. Another powerful sign is this. She begins investing in who you're becoming, not just who you are right now. She pushes you, not with aggression, but with encouragement. She challenges you in moments when you feel stuck. She doesn't let you settle when she knows you're capable of more. And this doesn't come from frustration, it comes from faith in your potential. Her belief in you is sometimes stronger than yours. That's when you realize she's not just falling in love with you, she's rising with you. And here's a quietly beautiful truth. She becomes more transparent, not because you ask, but because she wants to bring clarity, not confusion, into your life. Women learn early to protect their hearts with mystery, but when she begins to love deeply, she starts removing emotional camouflage. Her communication becomes clearer. She chooses honesty even when it makes her vulnerable. This vulnerability is her way of inviting alignment, not emotional control, but emotional mutuality. Finally, observe how she treats your mistakes. A woman in love doesn't weaponize your flaws. She acknowledges them, yes, but she doesn't use them as leverage. She guides you gently toward better choices, not with shame, but with silent hope. And when you improve, she doesn't remind you of who you were. She acknowledges who you're becoming. When you recognize this level of emotional depth, understand that she isn't just loving you, she's rooting herself into your life. And that, if respected, becomes the kind of connection that lasts beyond infatuation, beyond attraction, beyond complacency. When a woman truly falls in love, she faces an internal war most men never see. You think she's calm, collected, steady, but inside she's navigating fears, hopes, and vulnerabilities that come with choosing to emotionally attach herself to one man. Because for her, love is not just a feeling, it's a gamble, a risk that she quietly accepts. And the moment she steps into that emotional space with you, everything shifts. Not because she is weak, but because loving deeply makes even the strongest woman question, is this safe? Will he protect what I give him? That question is silent, but it echoes in everything she does. You'll notice the shift in how she begins to seek clarity, not to control you, but because her heart craves certainty. It's the small, delicate questions she asks. Are you okay? Are we good? Is something bothering you? Men often dismiss these as insecurity, but they are actually emotional checkpoints. She is assessing the safety of the connection, not out of jealousy, but because she is starting to build her emotional reliance on you. A woman in love doesn't need constant reassurance, she needs consistency. And when she senses consistency, she relaxes in ways that are rare and beautiful. Look at how her reactions change in conflict. A woman who is merely interested will defend her position to protect herself. But a woman who loves you will choose resolution over victory. She will argue less from ego and more from concern, because losing the connection feels worse to her than losing the argument. That is emotional maturity shaped by love. It doesn't mean she won't express hurt. It means she reveals it with the intention of healing, not harming. Another sign is how she starts to prepare her life around you without losing her identity. She doesn't abandon her dreams. She begins aligning them. She starts considering things like, will this allow us to grow together? Her calendar, her plans, her future vision, they begin to accommodate the possibility of us instead of just me. She's not trapped by this. It gives her purpose. Because once a woman sees a man as worthy of love, she starts imagining how to build stability around him. Then there's the courage she shows in moments when most people would retreat, when your mood is heavy, when failure weighs on you, when life hits hard. She isn't repelled by your difficult phases. She leans in. She doesn't suffocate you. She stands near enough to remind you you're not alone. That distance she balances, the space and the support, is a language of love that only emotionally intelligent women speak. She also becomes more selective with her emotions. Not colder, more focused. You'll notice she doesn't give emotional energy to unnecessary conflict, drama, or attention-seeking external influences. She begins to guard her heart strategically because she has chosen where to invest it, and that investment is you. Understand this. The moment a woman begins to love you deeply is also the moment she becomes quietly brave. She chooses to trust, despite knowing that trust is a door that could lead to fulfillment or heartbreak, but she walks through it. Not because she is naive, but because she believes that the right man won't let her fall, so she takes the risk, hoping you will be the one who proves that her courage was not misplaced. The deepest sign she's truly in love is something most men overlook because it isn't expressed through grand gestures or poetic words. It's found in the way she chooses to stand beside you during uncertainty. A woman in love doesn't just love you when your life is structured and you're winning. Her true love emerges when everything feels unstable, when you doubt yourself, when progress slows, when things don't go as planned. That's when you'll notice her presence become more gentle but more intentional. She becomes a quiet force that doesn't push you, but she doesn't let you fall either. If she's truly in love, she allows herself to be emotionally affected by your pain. It's not sympathy, it's connection. She might not always know how to help, but pay attention. She tries. She asks if you've eaten. She sends a message when you withdraw. She gently enters your silence without trying to solve it. The world may see your strength, but she sees where it trembles. And instead of stepping back, she leans closer, not to rescue you, but to remind you that you are not alone. Notice how she doesn't demand perfection. She doesn't ask you to be something you're not. She asks you to be honest. She values truth over image, because to her, your vulnerability is more valuable than your flawless presentation. She sees the man you're striving to become and loves you through your evolution, not just at the milestone. This is not blind faith. It's emotional commitment. She does not attach herself to what you currently are. She invests in what you are destined to become. You'll know she's truly in love when she gives you peace. Not adrenaline, not drama, not games, peace. It's in how your mind calms around her, how tension fades when you hear her voice, how your ambition feels clearer when you speak about your future together. Real love isn't meant to intensify chaos, it's meant to quiet it. And perhaps the most powerful truth, she begins to love you not just as a partner, but as a man she silently believes can change the course of his own life. She becomes your emotional witness. She watches you walk through life's storms with courage, and even when you don't see it, she whispers in silence, I believe in him. You may never hear those exact words, but you'll feel them every time she looks at you with steadiness, no matter how turbulent things become. Understand this clearly. If you ever experience this kind of love, protect it, not because you fear losing it, but because you honor the courage it took for her to give it. A woman who loves from this depth doesn't seek ownership, she seeks connection. She doesn't want to control your path, she wants to walk alongside it. And if you meet this love with reciprocity, integrity, and emotional maturity, it will become the kind of bond that outlasts time, distraction, and adversity. So ask yourself honestly, are you ready to be the man who not only receives that kind of love, but protects and nurtures it? Now I want to ask you something powerful. Has a woman ever shown you one of these signs? And did you recognize it in that moment or only after she was gone? Share your experience in the comments below. It may help another man see what he's blind to right now. If this hit you deeply, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this with a man who needs to hear this truth today.